Sawadee Kap. Hello and welcome to Daily Wisdom, Walking the Path with the Buddha. Today is our group learning program, and I'm going to be doing guided loving kindness meditation with you guys, and then opening up to any and all questions that you guys might have. This is what I do each Wednesday. Of course, on Sundays, I go chapter by chapter in the book, Developing a Life Practice, The Path That Leads to Enlightenment. But today, we're just going to be doing meditation and then opening up to any and all questions that you guys have related to the path to enlightenment. So welcome to all of you, whether you're joining us for the first time or you're joining regularly. If you'd like to join for the loving kindness meditation, I'm going to be first starting with some chanting to ease us into the meditation. Then I'm going to be coming in with some guidance for the breathing mindfulness meditation. Then we'll be doing that for a period of time. Then I'll be coming in with guidance for the loving kindness meditation. Then we'll be going back to the breathing mindfulness, and then we'll come out with the chanting. The way that I tend to think about it is it's kind of like a loving kindness sandwich with loving kindness in the middle. The lettuce and tomato is kind of like on the outer edge there with the breathing mindfulness meditation. And then the bread kind of holding it all together is the chanting. So again, welcome to all of you guys. This loving kindness meditation, it's designed to help you eradicate your anger, hatred, and ill will. This isn't to change other people. We're going to be doing affirmations in the mind on the out breath. You're going to hear me saying these affirmations out loud, but what you would like to do is just repeat them within your own mind on the out breath. So we're going to do about 6 different affirmations as we go through those. So if you'd like to join, you might pull up a meditation cushion or a chair. You can lay on the floor. You can do standing position. There's the 4 positions of seated, lying, standing, and walking. But we tend to do seated, lying, and standing with the loving kindness meditation. We don't tend to use the walking with loving kindness. So again, I'm going to start with the chanting, which you guys are welcome to join in on, and then I'll be back with some guidance. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Bhutang Bhagavanang Abhivateyami Savakhato Mahagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Mahagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti pisu Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vicacaranang Sammuno Sakhato Rokavitu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sati Satatawa Manusanang Oto Bhagavati. Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, and the upper body erect. Just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here you're just looking to establish the breath. A nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind fixated on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Then I'll be back with more guidance on loving kindness meditation. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. Continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Repeat these affirmations in the mind on the out breath. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be free of all discontentedness and the suffering it causes. May mom and dad be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness and the suffering it causes. May my family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers all be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness and the suffering it causes. May all those who have harmed me be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness and the suffering it causes. May all those who I have harmed be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness and the suffering it causes. May all beings, wherever they reside, be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness and the suffering it causes. Now go back to breathing mindfulness meditation, focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Breathing in and out. Arahant Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Hotang Bhagavanang Abhivateyami Savakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅghang Namami นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสมะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชาจารณังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรปุริสาดามาสติสัตตาตาวามนุสนังโพโตภาควาติ Okay, if you guys would like to slowly ease your way out of meditation. Once again, welcome to everyone here. Nice to see all of you guys here today. For those of you guys that have questions, today is a day that you can ask any and all questions that you like. Of course, you can put that into Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom. In the comment section, I'll be able to see that. Or in Zoom, you can raise your hand electronically and ask any and all questions that you like. I see a question coming in here on Zoom in the comment section. Let's see, this is from Julia. I'll just read this one. It says, "Thank you, Teacher David. If my legs fall asleep during meditation, should I readjust it in the middle or keep going? It is not painful." You could adjust if you'd like, because it can also oftentimes be painful after the meditation. But also sometimes what you start experiencing as the mind and the body are starting to separate, you can kind of see that very clearly, that they're two separate things. You can notice that your body becomes like a stone sometimes. It almost feels like a stone, like really solid. And I don't know if that's what you're describing or if it's truly falling asleep. But, just going on what you said, it sounds like they're falling asleep. And if that's the case, you're surely welcome to readjust, because what that is a nerve is being pinched, and you would like to adjust that so that when you're done, you're not having that problem afterwards. And then also Julia asks, also, if I find myself so relaxed that I start falling asleep, should I reposition myself? Yeah, you have two options there. Is you can either change to a different position. Like if you're in the seated position, you could change to a standing or a walking. Or if you're in the lying position, you could change to a standing or a walking. Or you can just get some sleep, because as you start meditating and you're starting to train your mind, you're going to notice that the mind might have more of a tendency to be interested to fall asleep, because prior to learning these teachings and meditating, oftentimes the mind isn't really sleeping so well. So now that the mind's starting to get what it needs, you might notice that you have more of a tendency to sleep. I went through this for a good 6 months to a year before finally I got to the other side of that, where the mind was getting the rest that it needed, and I didn't have a tendency to fall asleep anymore. So you might notice those kinds of things. So you can either just get some sleep, and then when you wake up, do your meditation instead, or you can switch to a different position. Then looks like there's some more here as well. Is it best to do a sandwich meditation, breathing meditation, then metta meditation or loving kindness meditation, and then back to breathing meditation? What you'll notice is that this does work best for you, but there's some variations to this. Because the breath is so important in your meditation and you need to focus on that, and you're going to need that for the loving kindness meditation, that on the out breath is when you're doing the affirmation, you would definitely like to do some breathing mindfulness meditation on the front side, of your loving kindness meditation. That's going to just help you get that much more benefit out of the loving kindness meditation. The one on the back side, the reason why that's there is sometimes when you're doing loving kindness meditation, you can notice some anger and frustration and other discontent feelings arising sometimes. Because, like, for example, when I was doing this early on, I was doing this with my mom included, and I had a lot of resentment for things that happened during my childhood. So I could be completely fine before the meditation, and then I would go into the meditation and I would start meditating. And then as I was meditating and, may mom be peaceful, may mom be safe, I started remembering and recalling some of the things she did during my childhood. So what I noticed is that I was actually angry after the meditation, or I was frustrated. So the way to cut that off and let it go, if it's been triggered, is to do the breathing mindfulness meditation at the end. But if at the end of your loving kindness meditation, you're noticing that the loving kindness is really permeating in the mind and really filling up the mind, no need to go to that breathing mindfulness meditation at the end. You can leave that off. But if you need it, that's where it is, that you can do it there at the end to kind of cut things off so that you don't have that anger and frustration permeating in the mind after your meditation. Okay, so great questions there, Julia. It looks like, Yusuf, you have questions as well. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So because no lot time no see, I have a lot of time for questions. So are you ready? Have you packed your lunch?
Well, if you could ask just a couple of them, because I have a very early morning flight tomorrow, so I can't stay awake too late. But maybe if you just have 2 questions, we can do those today.
Okay, so the first one is what I just said, like trying to be funny. This is something that it is like impossible or nearly impossible for me to do with unknown people. Like sometimes I do have funny things to say, maybe to you, even in a personal meetings, but I just don't say them because the mind is like terrified or hesitated. Even with unknown people in real life, like I just can't talk to them. I can't, like the mind is terrified or something. Not they are going to punch me or something, but I find it difficult to know why. But with known people that I know maybe in college, it is so easy to talk to them. Even if they were unknown, I can easily go and talk to them. So it's kind of hard for me to know the reason why.
Sure, I'll help you, Yusuf. So anytime the mind is experiencing any kind of discomfortableness or uncomfortableness, discontentedness, it's always coming back to the 10 fetters. There's some fetter, at least one, if not more, that are involved. So the more you start understanding what the 10 fetters are and the symptoms of them, you'll be able to trace it back to exactly what the fetter is. That is actually the problem here. And then you can know that because you're going to need to start understanding these symptoms as they're arising so that you can eliminate these fetters out of the mind. That's what's going to get you liberated from these kinds of feelings. You and I have talked multiple times about the ego and something that each individual student needs to work on. And you and I have talked about that in relationship to you. There's 2 fetters involved in what we refer to as the ego. It's personal existence view, that first fetter, and then conceit. This is what we refer to as the ego. The word ego didn't exist during the lifetime of the Buddha, and he rightly separated as personal existence view, or he rightly described it as personal existence view and conceit. We're the ones who are combining it and calling it the ego. But it's helpful to see it as 2 separate things because there's different symptoms and there's different remedies for these 2 different things. What you're talking about is personal existence view. That's what's causing the mind to feel uncomfortable because you don't know this person. You want to be perceived in a certain way, and you're not quite sure how you're going to be perceived. So you hesitate and you're uncomfortable to perhaps just be at ease and function in the way that you would function with someone else who you're not worried about how they perceive you because they already perceive you in the way you want them to perceive you. Your mind already has that established with them. But this new person, you haven't established with them how you want to be perceived, and your mind's worried about that. And that's the fetter that's involved here.
So what is the relation between doing loving kindness meditation and that? Because when I see that love is present in my mind, I can easily be funny known people. Like instead of talk to an unknown guy, but a couple of weeks ago when love was present in my mind, I wasn't able to start a relationship here. Like maybe another question related. Should I try to develop loving kindness to eliminate this, or I should work independently on this and try to eliminate this negative thing?
It's not loving kindness that's going to eliminate your clinging to the personal existence view and holding on to this body and mind. You might be perceiving it that way, but that's not what's going to eliminate your uncomfortableness, your shyness around this kind of situation. If you look, like I know you have before, but look in volume 1, chapter 16, there you'll see all about the personal existence view and the things you need to be able to do to eliminate that. It might be that you do have loving kindness in your mind and you're perceiving it as I can be funny and I can be more at ease when that loving kindness is in the mind, but that's not what's actually going to eradicate this problem that you're experiencing. It's due to personal existence view. So you need to eliminate that fetter in order to eliminate this uncomfortableness from the mind.
Okay, so I will maybe ask one more question, but if you want your time to be, don't know how to put the phrase, but you can feel free to tell me if I am asking too much. The question now is what you said to me before, that I should maybe develop my wisdom in life, in a general life, so that what I give to the life can give me back. I'm finding it difficult to talk in English today. I don't know why. So like, I want to work, I'm a pharmacy student. I want to work in a pharmacy, and also there's college coming ahead to me and I need to go there. So if I did go and work in a pharmacy those days, my day will be filled with college and working at pharmacy. So will that be like putting too much weight on my mind, or I can handle it? Like, I'm not sure. Should I postpone that?
That's something that you need to figure out. I can't give you an answer to that because each individual person's different and unique. You got to look at the situations that you've got in your life and figure out where the middle way is, because everybody's middle is a little bit different. Like, people see what I do and they can't imagine like how I do it, right? Like, I'm teaching all these classes, I write all these books, I have personal guidance sessions, I'm producing videos and podcasts, I'm traveling, I've got a son and a wife, a house to take care of and clothes. People are shocked that I can do all these things, but that's just from training my mind that I'm able to do these things and I'm perfectly in the middle. But this wouldn't have been my middle, 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So your middle is going to be unique to you and what's going on within your own life at that time. When you're in the middle and you're practicing the middle way, you're going to notice that the mind's at ease and it's peaceful. When you're on one side, when you're having craving, desire, attachment, and you're chasing after things, you're going to be discontent. You're going to be stressed. You're going to be having anxiety, frustration. And when you're noticing those things, your mind's not in the middle. Or if you're on the other side, where you're dull and lethargic and indifferent and could care less about what's going on and just binge watching videos like you were talking about recently. If you're doing those kinds of things, you know that your mind's not in the middle. There's too much complacency there. There's not motivation and encouragement and ambition, enthusiasm. So when you come to the middle, and you're going to need to find that for yourself, you'll notice that you'll be at ease, and you'll notice that it's almost like the mind takes a deep breath and you feel very comfortable with what you're doing and what you've got on your plate, so to speak.
Okay. Is there any time for another question? But this one could be like a little bit long.
It could be what?
Do you have the time? It could be a little bit long. Do you have the time?
I unfortunately don't, Youssef. There's some questions coming in on Facebook that I'd like to answer those. But, your journey to enlightenment is going to be long, just like everyone else's. So today's not the only day that you can ask questions, but tonight is the only night that I can sleep before I have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning. So there's a joke for you. How's that?
Yeah.
So I've got a 2 days worth of travel ahead of me. So I would like to be sure I at least get, maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep tonight. And if I go too long with you, I won't be able to do that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you.
And by the way, that's my middle, right? I got to know where my middle way is. Whereas if I sat here and talked with you for the next 30, 45 minutes, that's not the middle for me because I got to get this sleep before I get on my flight. So every person has to navigate the middle and know where their middle is at any given time.
Even though that the middle is some simple concept, but I still find it hard to understand it, to direct my mind to the middle those days.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for understanding, Yusuf. Chris has a question.
No, okay.
Chris has some questions here on Facebook. He says, Teacher David, I think it was in a personal guidance session where you explained that a person would know the livelihood they do for the rest of their life before they achieve the fourth stage of enlightenment. And I think you taught for years before becoming a teacher of the words of the Buddha, both in IT field and in Thai massage. Is it likely that a practitioner's final form of livelihood would reflect things that individual has done prior in their life? I'm asking this since I have never been a teacher, more or less, at any other time in my life, but I have started internet projects for almost 25 years. This leads me to wondering if my final form of livelihood would be related to combining the teachings with internet projects instead of being a teacher of the teachings. Thank you, sir. In some cases, the answer to your question is yes, and other times, no, right? It's not just one way, right? So there could be somebody who has bounced around and done a whole lot of different things like me, but there was kind of like this underlying theme that I was always interested in helping people. And all those things that I did in the past have culminated into what I'm doing now, which is the IT stuff and the Thai massage and all the other things that I did. Being a teacher, it all came together into what I'm doing right now. So for me, that's the way it happened. But for somebody else, it might not be. Someone else might dabble in a whole bunch of different things, realize that none of those things are what they're interested in. And then at some point in their life, they discover this new thing that they've never done before. And it's just like, wow, like this is like perfect for me. And that might be what they end up doing as their right livelihood. So there's not just one set way that that's going to occur. Chris has more. He says, Teacher David, I had an experience where it seemed like I was looking down at Chris, watching him live his life while he was filled with love and joy. You explained that my mind and body may have separated at that point. Is an enlightened being experiencing this level of love and joy permanently? Thank you, sir. So yes, like you can meditate, or even in daily life, you can experience these situations where you can see the body and mind are two different things, because you can be in meditation with your eyes closed, but you're looking down at yourself. And this is like helping you to be able to see that the mind is one thing and the body is something completely different. This is a normal occurrence. In terms of whether an enlightened being is experiencing the level of love and joy permanently that you're experiencing now, I would say whatever you're experiencing now is not as much as you will experience when the mind is enlightened. Because on your way to enlightenment, you're going to be experiencing degrees of love and joy that are just like unfathomable, that you couldn't even fathom your mind ever experiencing this amount of love or joy, because in the past you've never experienced that before. But wherever you are now, there's more room to grow because the mind isn't actually enlightened yet. So look at that love and joy and be like, well, my goodness, there's actually more beyond this. Because, you know, whether you're outside the jhanas or in the jhanas or in one of the four stages of enlightenment, wherever you are, the mind is not yet enlightened. And that's where all the qualities are going to fully come together. And you're going to be able to see how magnificent the enlightened mind actually is. So whatever you're experiencing now, wonderful. But I would say by the time you get to enlightenment, it's going to be beyond what it is that you're experiencing now. And then finally, Chris is asking, Teacher David, aside from breathing mindfulness meditation and loving kindness meditation, is there anything that can be used to specifically eliminate the fetter of restlessness? I think this mind is starting to become aware of the 10 fetters. So restlessness is due to overactivity in the mind. This is craving, desire, attachment, where the mind is just, you know, really bouncy, kind of a little bit high energy. what's going to eradicate that is having the mindfulness to be aware that it's there. And then when you notice that it's there, bring in the tranquility, the concentration, and the equanimity. And the breathing mindfulness meditation is going to help you to be able to cultivate your concentration. But you need to look at those 7 factors of enlightenment so that you're practicing mindfulness all the time, which is awareness of mind. And then whenever you see the restlessness come in, that overactivity of the mind, you're going to need to calm it down by arising the enlightenment factor of tranquility, concentration, and equanimity, which is part of volume 1, chapter 3. If you look in there, I explain it in the book, but then I've also taught about the 7 factors of enlightenment at different times too. Okay, so I'm not seeing any other questions anywhere. Okay, so what I'll do then is just end by thanking all of you guys for joining our class, and thank you for understanding that I can't teach the way I normally do, which is I just keep teaching until you guys are done asking questions. That's typically the way I teach, but today I can't do that because it's impermanent, right? I can't always do that every single time. Today is the first day that I can ever remember where I've decided that I'm only going to be able to answer so many questions, but I think you guys can understand that that's where I'm at in terms of my travel schedule and needing to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to head out in the morning. So thank you guys for understanding that, and that I'm practicing the middle way with that. On Saturday and Sunday, I have the Palikan English Study Group on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I have the group learning program. Even though I'm traveling, I'm still going to be teaching those at 9 a.m. Thai time and 9 p.m. Thai time. I'm just going to be doing it from wherever I am on the road, but I'm going to be sticking to that same schedule. So Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday, you guys are going to be able to attend to classes right here online, just like I've always done. And even for those of you guys in Chiang Mai, we've got it set up where you guys can still attend the temple and learn over there too, because we're going to be live streaming it and having Zoom up over there at the temple based on our regular schedule. And then if anybody's hearing this that's in the area of Mexico, that's where I'm going to be teaching over the next 2 weeks. I've got 2 courses, one just south of Mexico City and another one in a place called Oaxaca, I think it's called. I can't pronounce either place. I'm going to hook up with a student that's there, and she's going to take me to wherever it is that I'm teaching. So I can't really pronounce them, but it's on the website. If you would like to see where it's going to be, you're more than welcome to attend. So again, thank you guys all for your questions. Thank you for your dedication in learning and practicing. And perhaps we'll see you guys in a future class. Be well and have a lovely rest of your day. Take care. Sawadee ka. Thank you again for watching. Enjoy your meditation. Look forward to seeing you online and answering any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.